Greetings and Pillar Next is Angel Gladiator today with, let's just chat and open up a booster box of Neuroscape. I didn't think I was going to have the money for this, but I got to have the money for this because my original plan that was supposed to happen ended up not happening. So, yay. More money to spend on other stuff I'm actually going to want. But at the same time, I was really hoping for some stuff I was looking forward to, you know. Well, my way set aside money and time, and I ended up not needing to because the person I was supposed to talk to didn't even show up. Right. Faction archetypes. Some draft thing. I appreciate the Magic does this as well for other stuff. Yeah, it's all one-sided. Alright. 6 big ones are Hackers, Dust Runners, Mystics, Cybernetics, Corpo, and Thrashers. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look at what we got here. Tons of boosters. Cool. Let's make it a big surprise of not knowing what part of the booster box the super card is supposed to be. Apparently, there have been some games and sets where they did a really bad job of not randomizing this stuff too well. And so people are able to map the booster boxes to find, oh hey, this is going to be the pack you want to just grab and just, pawn off the rest online. Yeah, I was going to be picking up some used games, and they never showed up, never called. I made the mistake of not getting their phone number to say, hey, did you forget? Oh well. That's fine. Maybe they didn't need the cash after all. Maybe they wanted to hold on to the games after all. I don't know. Who knows? What matters is going forward into the booster packs. One of the people I work with deals with other stuff along similar lines, and they also had to deal with people not showing up either. So it's like, first time, let's go. You think if something was important, you'd try to remember it, make a note or something. Mirage, put target Dust Runner character you control into its owner's hand. Maybe to save one of your characters from certain doom. There we go. Alright, the Pulse. Quantum Rare. Whenever a Dust Runner character attacks, deal 1 mainframe damage to the defending player. And then we got the Mystic Ram. Put all that over in a pile. Let's make everything nice and visible for the camera. Alright. Yeah, it was an opportunity I would have liked to follow through on, and it just didn't happen. So, but thankfully, later this year is the auction. There'll be plenty of used games to pick up, or new games that nobody remembered they had and forgot about opening. Apparently, some people just pick up tons and tons of games and just never get around to opening. And it's useful if you need to open a store at some point and have that kind of merchandise available. Diver. Fatal Error 75. Activate destroy target attacking characters as player controls. It is Trojan. Another Hive Dynamics. Alright. Let's try to keep it all on screen. Here. No faction, there's oddballs. Some mainframes. RAM back here. Alright. In fact, I'm not going to be taking in any more use games for a while because of the auction. I still have the games left over from when I wiped the shelf when I took over. I still need to go through. Double. Gotta look through every one of those. And see which ones are in pretty good condition to sell. High Priestess. That's another one. Basic RAM. That one looks like... Take a look. Like something. It's a hacker one. But yeah, when I took over the used games, I bought everything that was still on there with the store credit that I had from the selling my stuff. And I made a clear point, I'm not putting that stuff back on the shelf. That stuff's going to sell at the auction. I mean, it's having to sit on it for an entire year. One year is a very long wait for needing to be able to do something. Because there's other stuff I could do with that time. There was other things I could have gotten with that store credit. But it was something that I wanted to do. Because I thought, this matters to me. You got the Corpo mainframe. And the Cyber Drug Redline. +7, -1, 8 Psychosis. If it's not cybernetic, it's another 5. That goes with the Psychosis Management mainframe. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how quick stuff can build up, and before I know it, it's more stuff than I've really given thought to and have interest in. That's the issue I ran into with Riftbound. Oh, we got Astra, the regular. I just ended up with more cards than I really cared about, and that's part of why I ended up falling off of that one. Neosec Firestorm. Corpo Mech. And Omnis Blood Diamond. Mainframe Corpo. There we go. Take a look at that guy. Can incinerate 3 target characters for 1 damage, or hit a player for 3 damage. It's pretty brutal. Alright. Yeah, there are a lot of little side factions that have yet to be fully fleshed out. Robots, AI, anarchist, animal, mech. There's some happy face one that I pulled for the drug time, apparently. It's just a happy face, and I have no clue what faction that is yet. I'll have to look it up. At some point, I should take the demo decks that we got in and like get them sleeved and try to find some kind of data on a card game. Right now, the schedule is kind of packed. Like, let's go down the list of the days of the week here. Sunday, it's Pokemon. Monday, it's Magic Commander. Oh, that's cool. Canyon Stalkers. Dust Runner Animal. Tuesday, it's One Piece. Wednesday, it's Gundam and Yu-Gi-Oh! Thursday is... there's no space for card games because 40k and other miniature games. Friday, it's Lorcana. Saturday, it's events. If One Piece or Magic or anything's doing their event on Saturday. Ooh, shiny. There's not a whole lot of space for anyone else. Got the Sidewinder mainframe. Alright, Trixie Techno Queen. Iconic Mystic Raver. Okay, Raver is apparently the smiley face. When you play a tarot, draw 1. Next turn you play is turn cost 0. Ram. Okay. What I might do is the stuff that's like only one of the 6 big ones, I might just put the cards in that one. Instead of keeping it in the dual pile. We'll see. But yeah, trying to get any other card game going. Oh, that's right. Saturday is also Force of Will and Star Wars Unlimited. But yeah, trying to get another card game going is gonna be rough. Just in general. I picked this up because I fucking love Cyberpunk. Damn it. I'm gonna... You put a Cyberpunk game in front of me, there's a good chance I'm gonna pick it up. Not so much if it's going to try to weave in fantasy like Shadowrun, but there have been some times I picked up Shadowrun stuff. But there are some, like, there are cards that, or there are things that was like, I'll give it a shot. Like Shadowrun Encounters, or the action figure game. But in general, I want to try to keep my Cyberpunk as fairly grounded as possible for that. Download more RAM. Oh, jeez. Let's caught that now. Alright. Target RAM from your recycle bin. I need to look that up. RAM ending up in the recycle bin. Set view simulation. On that check, the active player may purge a character they control to put target mystic character from the recycle bin into their hand. That character has to be really worth it for want to make use of that. Alright. RAM ending up in recycle bin. I need to look up how that happens. What can cause that to happen? If the RAM from stuff that was destroyed was supposed to go with it. Maybe there's something that does go out of its way to destroy RAM. We'll take a look. We'll go through all the cards and hopefully find that example. Because resource destruction is a main thing in a game. That was one of the things I was like, okay, I'm cool with for Riftbound is your stuff might go back to your rune deck, but you can never completely lose it. So that you're not totally screwed. Nanobot. Let's see. I'm an nanobot pile. Oh. Alright. And that is off the screen. Continue to move. Scoot it all down. I'm going to go ahead and move the robot and nanobot stuff back here. Alright. Wonderland. Alright. A lot of corporal now. Coder. Roxy Riot. Iconic Thrasher. Oh, hey, there's the iconic Thrasher I'm looking for. To make use of Groupie. On your net check, put a rage counter on Roxy. Where attack hits players, who deals an extra bioframe for each rage counter. The player destroys her, 3 damage to them for each rage counter. Just stop her early. Otherwise, you're not stopping her at all. Alright, cybernetic basic RAM. Alright. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in card games that is like, this is mean, but the fact it remains an option. Therefore, it is totally legal to do. Some people would just rather shut down like a third of the cards in the game just because they don't like having to deal with them. And I think you're missing out on the part of the challenge of trying to figure out how to recover from dealing with that. There you go. Groupie. And already all the critical people to run your concert and tour. Wonderland. On that check, the player may roll a d20 to control Alice Dreamwalker, which is one of the cards I pulled in a booster I picked. I've been picking up some of the boosters little by little. Yeah, Alice rolls twice. Destroy character, invert counter, the top card of the cyber deck. So yeah. And the Cyber Thrasher Savage. Alright. One moment. August, be damned, it is still a very hot evening. Yeah. Every game's going to try something for strategy and tactical options. And saying, oh, I don't want to play this or this or this against, this or this and this. Like, do you even want to play the game, or do you just want to have an easy win? Yeah. Alright. As long as you're building to the format, it is all fair in card gaming. As long as you're playing to the format and playing fair. Oh, hey, Ghost in the Shell shout out because we needed that too. Alright. Another red line. And the Berserker in foil for Thrasher. Alright. It'll be interesting if anyone wants to do singles for this game. First off, the game has to be actually have a community going. Source still has Digimon singles only because of inertia. But the community is mostly playing other stuff now. There's still people who come in and play for fun, but there's no scheduled group for that one anymore. Nonetheless, we still have singles. You know, singles for that card game available. Someone could go through and like update the price and be nice. There's a new one, that Devil. Plus 10 psychosis. Or 15 if reversed. Let's attack this turn available. Sun Guardian. Prevents damage, but it buys you a certain amount of time, and then it disappears. The Prodigy can play this game, I'll trust you. EMP Blast, X mainframe damage to target player, where X is your hacker synergy. It's pretty cool. Hacker Dust Runner, Meltdown. Sure, Zarek. It feels like any kind of dual mainframe is going to try to stick to all one type of damage or the other type. No cybernetic hacker mainframe or Dust Runner Thrasher mainframe, I think. It would be funny to be wrong about that, but that's what the impression I seem to be getting on that end. Having both types of damage would give you options, but focusing on one type of damage means actually sticking to a plan. It's probably the better approach anyway. What is it about the nanobots that have to be borderless? Is it because they just simply cannot be contained whatsoever? Alright. Dust to dust. Destroy target RAM and target character. Ow. So there's one way RAM can get destroyed. Interesting. Maybe I should take a closer look at the Dust Runners in case there's a lot of destruction on that side of things. Mystic Dust Runner. Okay. At some point, I gotta get back to that video idea of how to play games. Because of the kind of recurring, here's, things you're going to end up doing, like drawing cards, rolling dice, taking your turn, and using stuff like action points or taking actions. Here's how to kind of be. Here's how to try and be a good sport about things. The Amrita on that check, the active player gains 1 mainframe and battle frame health for each Dust Runner character they control. You see if there's a limit on if there's a blood cap like it's been suggested for certain magic formats. Oil Meltdown and the Chariot. That makes 2 of them now. The Akira shout out. Let's see if I can recognize like other cyberpunk anime that's been referenced, like Armitage the Third or Bubblegum Crisis. If anything, if anyone went big brain and like reference those in a way that's like really subtle yet clever. Or Serial Experiments Lane. There's another one. Yacht Party. Yeah, there's not nearly as much cyberpunk as there is fantasy or superheroes. So what little there is going to be interesting to find. See if it does anything different or special. Mad Honey. Nanobot drug, of all things. So turn in nanobot characters you control are +1/+1 overrun. Ouch. That's concerning. Wonderland. Strength. Another Fatal Error 75. And a Berserker. Nice thing about having a ton of extra mainframes is I have some stuff to hand out to people. It's like, hey, I want to build this deck, but I'm trying to find this one mainframe. Cool, I can get you set up with it. Yeah, it's not just a matter of needing to find time during the week for the game, but also the people. I know I'm interested, but I also need to have that time to actually demo the game and get everyone on the same page regarding rules. Still kind of annoyed about stuff I would have liked to have known about Riftbound when I was trying to learn the damn game. Like, they could have put one little blurb in the rule book, the little rule book with the decks, like, hey, when you go to a battlefield, even if you don't fight, you still get the point. You don't have to fight anyone to get the point. Just go in there and gets it. The net. When a player plays a program, they draw one. It's a way to keep your hand up. It also helps your opponent, too. Good way to accelerate the game. On both sides. Alright. Before I continue, I am very much looking forward to fall coming around and cooling things off. The rain recently has been nice, although the wild hailstorm earlier was a surprise. I actually got to the point where I had to clean up a leak. And to get the mop bucket, had to move stuff off a shelf and then lift up those shelves and mop underneath. You know, my first kind of experience with any kind of work was helping my mom with cleaning offices, helping with trash and other stuff, vacuuming, whatever, you know. Magician, lovers, another failure, 7-5. Headbanger, and foily. Whenever you destroy a character, an opponent controls Thrasher characters you control get. +1/+1 till turn end or +2. Yeah, that, all that time helping was the foot in the door experience I needed to get my first job ever. At a convenience store, where being able to clean is going to be important. But also managing time and paying attention to stuff. So I was reading Cortex Crabs, like, it's kind of amusing. Control a character and use it. Another Neuroscape Firestorm. Oh, hey. There's half my name right there. Nexus. Now if there's one called Pillar, that'd be hilarious. When you install a RAM, you would give target character +1/+1 till turn end, or +2. Cybernetic Corpo. I was looking over some stuff from Hexen. And one of the little cutscenes in there mentioning the HIPAA style, or HIPAA style. I'm like, wait, what is this? And when I looked it up, it's a roof supported by a row of columns, or pillars. Arguably a pillar nexus. Yeah, wasn't really intentional that way, but it does amuse me. Another High Priestess. Basic RAM. That is the Nanobot RAM. Nice. Yeah, I still remember when I actually came up with this silly name of mine. I need to change my name here to not give away my immediate email address. And it's like, okay, I just need some kind of inspiration. Oh, hey, there's Magic Knight Rare Earth. A character called a Pillar. Pillar as a word just seems like it's used quite a bit. We'll hold on to that for a moment. Oh, hey, I've been listening to Genexus by Fear Factory. Nexus. Nexus is another thing that keeps getting used. Okay, let's just smash these together. Pillar and Nexus. And I've been using that name since September 2015. And you know what? I've come to like it. Hey, Red Knight. Wonderland Robots. Rogue Valkyrie, Cybernetic Mech. Skybreaker 2. Bioframe damage target character. Alright. Wonderland. Would you play a Wonderland program, create a pawn token or bishop token or rook token? Oh, hey. I think this is the time to point out why those matter. It's either this bag or this other one. Where is Alice? One of these. Yeah. You know, I'll probably just leave it out because I gotta sort through this too. Other one. There she go. Well, back a ways. Bingo. Alright. Alice Dreamwalker. If you control a pawn token, a bishop token, and a rook token, and your opponents control a total of one character, you win the game. Checkmate. Yeah. But that... Because when I got her, it's like, where the hell do I get those tokens? And there it is. There's the mainframe I've been looking for. Yeah, weird instant win game conditions are interesting. Same thing for instant lose stuff too. Magic had Battle of Wits, Coalition Victory, a lot of others too. Laboratory Maniac was like probably my favorite card from Innistrad. And the only reason I didn't immediately give up on it, but at the end I still dropped out of Magic around that time. Iron Maiden. But seeing how you can get people to play a certain way is, and to try to challenge these special victory conditions is always interesting. That is the most basic of basic round. Alright. And multiverse. There can be any number of environments in play. Environments aren't destroyed when anyone enters. When multiverse leaves play, purge all other environments. If you could dream an infinite number of lives in an infinite number of worlds, eventually you would dream the life that you're living right now. Weird. I remember I was getting back into Magic and picking up Streets of New Capenna, and like the first, one of the first cards I ended up pulling was Halo Fountain. Untap 15 creatures you control to instantly win the game. It requires you to get 15 creatures in play, tap them for something, and then untap them all at once. I remember asking someone nearby, I was like, has anyone ever actually won with this? I'm like, yeah, quite a bit. It's always interesting to see just weird cards and how someone could try to make them work. in a game. One with nothing from one of the Kamigawa sets. It's another interesting one. You play it, you discard your hand for 1 black. It does not say target player. It is you It is implied you discard your hand. What else can be worked with? Twisted Fire Starter. All right. That is hilarious. I love it. What can you do with a card that tells you to discard your hand? Let's see. Madness, the old torment mechanic of, play it from your. If you discard it from your hand, you can play it for its madness cost. I believe Hellbent was a thing at some point. Like, as long as your hand is empty, it's in effect. Use it as a response to sudden impact. Just to save your own ass. So situational things that really challenge, people. There's a new symbol. Those are government. Maybe I haven't been paying attention. Propaganda. It is corpo, and it is a kind of government-looking symbol. The Empress. Another iconic Thrasher. eXistenZ. Savage Mindscape. Until turn end, all non-Thrasher characters get +10 psychosis. And do it during someone else's turn. Eclipse. Mystic Mainframe. Player Tarot. Create Tarot token, or Dreamwalker token. And then all Dreamwalker tokens get +1/+1. Wonderland's going to be a weird one to do because a lot of the programs are scripts. Right now, there's as far as Wonderland characters goes, or Wonderland Persistence, we've got the environment of Wonderland, Alice, a lot of things that are cross-type with others, like Wonderland Corpo, Wonderland Robot, I think Cheshire Cat was another one. Let's see. That's in the stack. I imagine they'll do more with those factions with future planning. Protocol. Virus. Yeah. It's always weird to see a game try to make stuff in anticipation of future ideas. There was the Future Sight goblin from Magic that dealt with contraptions before contraptions were even a thing. You got to be playing a long game with that one. And contraptions didn't even show up until a freaking unset. Like, really? But I do like the flavor text of that one. With the X's, pinch the O's, what we're building, no one knows. Wonderland robots. Thrasher. Another dust to dust. Coyote. You play a tether, draw one. Ooh. And then when you play a Dust Runner character, draw one. I remember reading about how there was the Kingdom Hearts card game where they're supposed to bring over one of the sets that would provide the other card needed for one card that already existed to be useful. And the game ended up canceled. So they didn't get to bring it over, leaving that one card without the thing that it needed to work. I remember early days of Pokemon, and you would need base sets, basic Pokemon in level 1 for a future set that would have the level 1 or level 2 for that one. Kind of rough. Super Symmetry. All characters' base attack values are swapped with their base defense values. Down is the new up. Thrasher Corpo. Alright. Well, that's all that. Let's review some of the stuff I pulled from previous packs. There's the first chariot I got. Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to do something with all the tarot cards if I can get an extra one of each of them past the play limit. Just something for fun, you know. You'll have to see how far along I've gone in collecting the stuff shown here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, provided this initial set actually goes well, what they end up doing with the game past this point. I'll probably need to step up and start demoing the game. People interested. I need to find a day and time that's going to work. I've got 4 other days to work with, but if I'm focused on Board Game League, Battletech, whatever's happening on Saturday that I need to do, my options are going to be limited. I know Mondays, since that's my day off, I could try to offer Neuroscape as an alternative to Magic, but it's got to be rough. The Commander group is pretty well entrenched, and I don't see any of them switching over to this game. Not while Commander remains a viable format. Oh yeah. All the Dust Runner. The Tower. Oh yeah, there it is. When I pulled earlier with the rainbow symbol, time. Refresh target character and reboot their abilities. Yeah. RAM, meltdown, eclipse, sidewinder. Alright. I'm just happy to collect the game. I'm happy to just mess with it on my own time. But if we can actually get people together, then it means a future for the game, for that game at that store. You know, it sucks to see games fail. It sucks to see product gathering dust because people abandon it. Russia Vicor, for example, we still have a full box of starter decks, and the recent set just waiting. People are still buying Digimon. People are still buying Force of Will. People are still buying Dragon Ball. Illustrals moves very glacially, but sometimes someone will just pick it up. Union Arena is doing way surprisingly well. Um, I think the one set we have that's moving the almost not at all is Rurouni Kenshin. But every other set has been gone quickly. 100 girlfriends who really like you. Um, that set was gone in about a week. Um, Other games, Riftbound's been picking up. Gundam's been picking up. One Piece is near impossible to keep in once it releases. Same thing with Pokemon. Magic's hit or miss. Like, we still have a good amount of Marvel superheroes, but The Hobbit has been moving, well, at a bit of a more steady pace. A little bit faster. I feel like when Magic actually feels like magic, it works. It Trying to go like modern, weird settings of superheroes and Ninja Turtles. Doesn't feel right. I would be amused if they did Lords of Magic: The Gathering at some point, but it's almost generic at this point. It's A lot of it's been done already, but I do like Lords of Magic, and it would be fun if they made that a set. But yeah, I think I'm good for getting cards for the time being. I'm gonna leave the rest up on that shelf and see if I start getting people interested, get people to pick up cards, and if necessary, take up the single card management and just get people playing. All right. Thanks for watching. If you're getting into this game, good luck on your own polls. Have fun with the game. We need more cyberpunk love in this crazy tabletop gaming world of, man, there's so much fantasy and space and modern historical. Let's let's get into the tech, the high tech and low life and all that cool shit. Thanks for watching. Spiller Nexus. We'll see you next time.